Many of our dyslexic students and our struggling readers have trouble with the schwa and the accented or unaccented syllables. And we often hear kids say, or adults even say, but I just don't hear the accent. And I've worked with many, many, many dyslexic kids, and that's been a common theme. They don't hear the accent. And I know we've all told them, call the dog, call them home for dinner and see how you say it. And that helps some, but it doesn't really help everyone. And we get down to, why do we need to teach schwa or the accented syllable? And the reason to hear it, the only reason to hear the accent is for the spelling rule about if it's a 2-syllable word and the second syllable has one vowel followed by one consonant, you double the last consonant if that's the accented syllable. Okay, so they kind of need to know if that's the accented syllable to double the consonant. I get away from that and just say, hey, if the first syllable in that 2-syllable word is the prefix, double that consonant. So other than that rule, why do we need to teach the accent? And we don't need to teach them to hear the accent. We need to teach them to produce it, because often when they're reading multi-syllabic words, they don't recognize the word in their memory because they haven't got the right accent on the right syllable. So they have to be able to produce the accent on the different syllables and say, oh, that's the word. And connect the squiggles on the paper to the word in their memory. So this is how I teach them to produce the stress in a syllable. Sorry, the stress in a word. Okay, I've done this when I coached speech and debate. I start at a sentence level because all the kids can do this at a sentence level. I'll say, we're going to stress one word of the sentence, and we'll start by stressing. We'll go through each word. We're going to stress one word, and we're going to decide what happens in our body when we are stressing a word. Let's listen to it. So if I stress this word and I say, I want vanilla ice cream today, did you hear that you put more oomph, more pressure, more support in your lungs to get the I a little louder? And did you notice that we held it a little longer? So it was a little louder, a little longer. That's a stress. And where did you feel that in your body? And I'll go through and say, I want vanilla ice cream. And I'll teach them to use their hand and do their hand up and down as they're doing it. So it's, I want vanilla ice cream today. And can you feel that extra punch? And with Zoom, if we were person to person, we would punch up and down, but in Zoom, it's like pushing it towards the camera. Okay, let's do it. I want vanilla ice cream today. And it's like, I want it. I don't just, have a slight desire. Or I say, I want vanilla ice cream today. And we can tell that the stress changes the way the sentence sounds. It also changes the meaning. And I want a vanilla ice cream today, not the pudding, the ice cream. And I want vanilla ice cream today. And we practice that. We could feel what's happening in our bodies, that we're making the stress louder and longer. From there, I go into homographs, words that can be pronounced either way, and we'll practice putting the stress on the different syllables. So this word, and I'll show it like this. This is, okay, ready? We're going to punch it. Contract. I have a contract in the mail. Or I hope I don't contract. See that? Contract a disease. And this is said with a schwa sound and said faster, less articulate. And this one is said louder and longer. And we go through these. There's that word again. Let's try this one. The stereo is in the console. Sorry, I didn't show you the stress. Console, and it's louder and longer. And when you're sad, I will console you. And we say this unstressed syllable so quickly, we call that a schwa. Now, I have many of these going through all of these. I also have it, some of our kids can, they're okay with the word schwa, they understand what's going on. But some of my kids, I find even that terminology just tends to give them that deer in the headlights idea. And it's like, you know, I can't, I've tried to learn schwa before, I can't do it. So I don't even use the term schwa. I'll do the same thing with the same words. And I'll say, okay, we're not going to call it a schwa. If I can feel that that's what's happening, I'll say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just make it louder and quiet, or louder or quieter. So contract. And or watch this. Instead of the schwa, sometimes I'll just say, you know, it's like, don't even say the vowel there. And most of our kids have seen contractions and they know that the word has been smished together. And that's what I'll do. We'll say we're going to contract. And see, we've barely even said anything here between the k and the n. It's contract. And for our kids who have the schwa anxiety, I find doing it this way helps. But in any case, I'm usually able to get them to produce the schwa and or the elision, whichever way we want to call it, and the stress and unstressed syllables. So again, I have the console, or I will console. And for those that have the schwa, I just show it as a contraction. So I've done it both ways for students, depending on whether they have an aversion to, to hearing about schwa or whether they're okay with it. And I'm able to get them to produce it. So then we go into multi-syllabic words, and we then do that same, okay, we're supporting our breath with our, you know, our body, we're pushing it out a little stronger, a little louder, and we try the different syllables and punch that until we are able to connect the multi-syllabic word with the various stresses and say, oh, that's the one it is, and connect it to a word in our memory. Anyway, that's what I do. I hope it helps.